Happy Tuesday as we move into a week with very different energy. I often read the weather, and for the past few days where I have been and where I am today, it's very grey, very windy. It is almost as if there has been a layer placed over us at the moment while things are going on in the astral planes, while things are really playing out. It's like we're in a hermetically sealed jar at the moment, kind of watching everything going around and playing out. And for me, the weather is always a great indication of where we are collectively, but also what is going on in the wider world, shall we say, with those who perhaps have more of an interest in creating weather systems which are going to put us into a state of fear, a state of depression, perhaps. Watching this weather has been quite fascinating because this week we have a incredibly rare event. So on Sunday, Mercury, the planet of communication, was conjunct to Pluto in Aquarius at 0 degrees, and this conjunction will continue for the next few days. So for me, when I'm doing my astrology, a conjunction between 5 degrees is super strong, and then maybe you'll take it out to 10. It's kind of a slightly looser energies. But while we're in this really tight few days where Mercury is conjunct by 5 degrees to Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius, it's a place that we have never been in this lifetime. There is very little information that we can kind of use as a guide. It's almost as if we're now coming through to read intuitively into the energy. And if we read intuitively into the energy, we remember that Plutonia is the Dark Mother. She is the one who is destroying. She is the one who comes forward to burn down everything so that we can go through the process of transformation and of rebirth. She's in the sign of Aquarius, the sign of the Star Mother, the sign of spirituality. So she's coming with her wrecking ball over the next few years to really shake up spirituality in whatever way that you see that, in however you define that, whether you define that as spirituality that you may follow, whether you define that as a more traditional doctrinal religious belief. But this Mercury-Pluto conjunction, Mercurius, she of the silver fire communication, she's really quick sometimes to react. And it's almost as if this conjunction is coming in to challenge our communication, to really destroy lies, to uncover untruths, to show us how communication is being used, is being manipulated, and what needs to go in order for us to discern and define our truth. Now, our truth is always in our hearts, but we still live in this 3D world where we find media, where we find sources of information outside of ourselves. And when you really dig into it, the big theme for this year, but also for Pluto in Aquarius, is how are we communicating? Are we communicating as our truthful, authentic self? Are we communicating from our heart, leading without fear? Are we able to speak our words from truth, from joy, from our learned experience that we're sharing in a very loving and nurturing way? Are we communicating our leadership in a heart-led way? Are we being individual yet within the collective? So some of the shadow side of this Pluto in Aquarius, this Mercury-Pluto conjunction, can be the rise of the hive mind. So if you look at your life, are you currently part of the hive? We may call that part of the 3D matrix. Are you logging into social media, which has got to change, has got to be destroyed to be rebirthed to something uplifting, something nourishing, something that is going to nurture our forward progression into ascension? Are you logging into that hive mind without your individuality? You're sinking back into the collective. You are buying into the stories that we are endlessly told. You're buying into the current narrative. So you may have uncovered untruths, but something comes in, segues in, and you follow that trajectory because you think at that moment in time it's your truth. But if you dropped it into your heart, is it just another way of that 3D matrix pulling you back into the hive mind? And I was really feeling into this. So I didn't check the headlines yesterday. I have only briefly looked at them today, but look at the hive mind. Look at where your energy is being directed at the moment. And then look what else is going on in the world. Where are you being asked to place your energy? Where are you being asked to hold a high vibration? Or where are you being asked to segue into a different state, to be empathetically connected but not in a positive way? Excuse me. Where are you being asked to put your love and attention? Where is all this energy being directed at the moment? So this, for me, as I'm really feeling intuitively, is that communication is going to be coming in that may or may not be true. It may be true for you, but it might not be true for me. It's coming in, we're being bombarded with this communication, and Pluto, she is there, she's coming in to show you, to expose those truths, those untruths that are coming out. So as we start to feel into this energetically, my advice to you is to drop everything into your heart, but also take some journal notes over the next few days. What have you seen? What have you felt? What have you discovered? How have the energies been for you? Because that then gives us a personal but also a collective record of what's going on for the energies, so that in future times when we are leaving encoded messages within the stars, within our paperwork, for others to come back to, that they can refer to. So as kind of an astrological kind of recording, how are you feeling? And it'd be great if you can let me know in the comments what's been going on for you. What are you noticing, so that we can create this kind of dossier and that we can leave that message for our future selves in the stars. I truly believe that we leave messages for our future selves in our past lives in the stars, so that when we look up at the cosmos, when we get to certain points in our soul contract, it's like a switch is activated and we start to remember who we are. So this is kind of a plea for your information, your learned experiences over the next few days. What is it like for you? What are you noticing personally? What are you noticing in the collective? But most of all, what is your intuition telling you? What is your heart telling you at the moment? And for me, it's changing the way that we communicate, being individual but within the collective, and moving away from that hive mind, looking at the prominence of AI at the moment. Is that dragging you back in? I remember recently writing something and being asked if I could then put it into AI to see if it could craft it a little bit more, and I refused, because that's not my truth. That's not what I'm here to do as someone who's got their North Node in Gemini. It's all about communication. It's all about my truthful communication of what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. So just notice what you notice. Notice without any judgment, but write it all down, share it with people. Let's get that energy and let's really find that highest possible aspect of this conjunction, which for me is our individual communication. It's seeing through the untruths and really speaking from our hearts, letting us be reborn in the way that we communicate with each other as well, be it face to face, be it on the telephone, through messaging, through videos, but also, are you tapping into that potential of telepathic communication, of sending your energy to another? Because that's what will really come in. And you can see that as Pluto comes in to move away, to clear that way for Mercury to come through with a different style of communication, to have death and rebirth, that could be a place that we really want to go to, so we can communicate across the frequency airwaves. Might be a little kind of busy with all the work going on in the astral at the moment, but maybe that's where you're being called. So really think about how you're being called to communicate over the next few days, and let's look at the collective. What is being destroyed as part of communication strategies? So sending you huge amounts of love. I'd really love to hear how it's going for you, and sail through it. Just know that everything always happens as part of this gold print plan to bring through that higher expression of yourself. So much love. Take care.